What's happening, dogs? Mr. Allen here with some evaluation of trig functions using our half angle formulas you see up there. For the first one, we got tangent of 75 degrees. And you may notice 75, not a nice trig number, right? It's not a 30, 45, or 60 degree reference somewhere on that unit circle, so we got to get creative. Well, 75 is half of 150, and 150 has a 30 degree reference, which we can math up. So let's rewrite this thing as tangent of 150 over 2, right? 150 over 2 is 75. So these are equivalent statements. Yes? Yes. Nobody saying no? Cool. We'll move on. All right. So now I can use my tangent half angle formula where theta is going to be 150. All right. So I'm going to have 1 minus the cosine of 150. That's my theta now, over sine of 150. Now, there are actually a couple different tangent half-angle formulas you could use. I think this one's the easiest because there's only one number or one function in my denominator. Otherwise, it's like kind of flipped and it's 1 plus cosine in the denominator. Just seems like the easiest one to work with. So that's what I'm going to do because I'm making the videos. All right. So now we got to do some evaluation. We got 1 minus, well, cosine of 150. With a 30 degree reference, that's going to be what? Root 3 over 2 for the cosine. But, we got to pay attention to our sign here, right? Cosine's negative when it's 150. So this is going to be negative root 3 over 2 all over, what's the sine of 150? That's positive 1/2. Now, for those of you who are like, wait, how did you get those? Quick refresh here. Unit circle. 150 is over here in the second quadrant. This is a 30 degree reference. This is 1, negative root 3, and positive 2. So that's your 150 degree rotation there, right? So that means cosine is going to be the negative root 3 over 2. Boom, that's what we have. Sine is going to be 1 over positive 2. Cool? All right. Now, what we could do here, you got a couple options, okay? We can multiply by our reciprocal of 1/2. Right, which is multiplying by 2. That seems like a logical decision, yes? So I'm going to do that. So this is going to be like multiplying by 2. So we got, let's see here. I'll rewrite it out. We got 1 plus root 3 over 2. This is getting multiplied by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2, which works out really well because now I'm going to have 2 plus, those guys are going to cancel, right? Root 3. Ooh, it's a pretty clean answer right there for how we started, right? Very nice. Okay. 2 plus the square root of 3. Final answer, done. Moving on. All right. Go blue marker on this one. So now I have sine of 157.5, which is definitely not one of those nice unit circle values. But let's think here. 315, half of 315 is 157.5. So you can almost think about like doubling these values to get to your half angle. I know it's weird because you got like double angle formulas. That can be kind of confusing. I'm going to think of it as 315 divided by 2 is 157.5. So I will rewrite that as sine of 315 over 2. That's what it's going to equal. Boom. So that's what we're working with, right? Theta is going to be 315, popping right up here. All right. Now, it does have the plus or minus here. Do we know what it's going to be? Well, where's 157? 157.5 is in my second quadrant. So we're in this quadrant over here for 157. It's less than 180 between 90 and 180, right? Sine is positive in that second quadrant, so this one is going to be positive, okay? Since we're doing sine of 157.5, I know that's going to be positive because it's between 180 and 90 or 90 and 180. Cool. So we'll use the positive here. Did I say that enough? I think I've said it enough. Let's go on. All right, let's move on to the math here. So positive. And then I have 1 minus the cosine of 315. I'll write it all out. Because now we're dealing with stuff outside of the first quadrant. Maybe it's a little bit scary. So that's going to be, let's see here, 1 minus, what's cosine of 315? Well, that's root 2 over 2, right? And it's in the fourth quadrant, which cosine's positive there. So we're good to go. We don't have to do any kind of changes. It's just going to be root 2 over 2 all over 2, and all that is in our square root there. So now I got to clean this thing up, right? Well, what if I were to get rid of this fraction up here? I could multiply through by 2, but whatever I do to my numerator, I'm going to have to do to my denominator because that means that I'm multiplying by 1, which doesn't change anything, okay? So there are a couple ways to do this. I think this is the easiest, most intuitive way, or just works out the cleanest. I am multiplying my entire numerator by 2 and my denominator by 2. So that means I'm going to get 2. So this is all in the square root still. So I'm going to get 2 minus the 2 and the 2 here, the denominator here and this 2. Those guys cancel, leaving me with just root 2 all over. 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So now I just have this crazy double square root thing going on. 2 minus square root of 2 all over the square root of 4, which was 2. And we dictated already, or we decided already, the numerator, sorry, not the numerator, that this whole answer is going to be positive because 157.5 is in the second quadrant and sine is positive in the second quadrant. All right? So there are those multiple steps, not just the evaluation, but deciding if it's positive or negative in your sine and cosine half angle formulas. All right, guys, hopefully that helps, makes sense. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. I think we're good. Other than that, guys, have a great day. Make sure you like it, subscribe it, share it, tell people about it, and stay dope.